Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Jason Welsh, and welcome to my new series, Blender. Okay, so why did I pick Blender? Why Blender? There's a whole bunch of other programs I could be learning, but why Blender? Well, Blender's free, and let's see, it's free? Yeah, it's free. And another thing is, students, when I get to Blender in my class and I'm doing the UV things, they ask so many questions about Blender because it's the simple fact that, well, it's free. And I figure, well, why not, open the door to the Blender universe and then kind of show them exactly how much stuff Blender can do. Now, I'm going to do it as far as a modeler would go. I'm not going to get into rendering in Blender or animation in Blender or any of that stuff. I am a modeler and an illustrator. That's all I need to know is like the how to model within Blender to get away with stuff. As far as the rendering goes, not quite sure how that works. I mean, I know how to render something, but I'm not sure how to let's say render something with depth of field or any of those fancy things. Uh, and as far as animation go, boy, am I clueless. So I'm just gonna tell you that right off the bat. But modeling, now I got that down pat, and I know how to select and move stuff, and that's what's really important. So people that have bought Pixelogic ZBrush, you have now the option of a second party application now in your workflow because of this. And now you're able to do all kinds of fancy stuff like insert an edge loop in an area that you might just want to just go in there and insert that edge loop without going into hiding all the polygons and making polygroups and all that good jazz. Alright, so I think I preached up Blender enough, and yeah, I guess that's it. So enjoy the new series, and I hope it helps you with your 3D modeling without breaking your bank account. Okay, so before you get started in the next part here, first thing that you should do is download these. You should download these and memorize them, or tattoo them on your forearm, or something, because they are the most important things within Blender. They are the hotkeys reference, okay? And there's so many hotkeys, so many hotkeys. So where did I get this? Well, that's a good question. Let's see. Here's a fast way to do it without going to this very long URL. How about, since this is a wiki, let me experiment for a second. Oh, look at that. Okay, so search, reference, hotkey, map, Blender. And you'll come across this. Of course, they're in PNG format, so you might want to save as something else, like I would say bitmap, and maybe make it your desktop background. All right. This is object mode and edit mode. Okay. And don't forget, when you're in Blender, when you get that far, tab on the keyboard will select and right here, tab, edit mode and wait mode. Now another thing is, here's object mode and select mode. Now, how to read this, okay? Because it's kind of cryptic a little bit. Don't forget this thing right here where it says green. So green shift is the actual modifier key, and then W would be warp. Okay, that's an example. Okay, down here in edit mode is probably the most important one. So control and Z is undo. Okay, all right. So that's it. Just thought I'd show you where that's at, and let's get on with the show. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, shall we? How about even installation? Sure. Blender.org, and go to the download section and find yourself Blender 2.45 for 32 bits. Now, if you have a 64-bit operating system such as Linux, like I mentioned before, and how fun Linux really is, there's Blender for Linux. Good luck installing that. And here's the Blender for 32-bit Windows. No, they don't have a 64-bit Windows. Okay, save. And you should download the same one I have. That way we're all on the same page on things. And while that downloads, I will say that Blender is very, very highly documented as far as wiki goes. And as far as training on videos, I didn't find anything. That's why I'm doing this. I figured I'll be a pioneer in the field of Blender-ness. It's going to be real loud when it gets done because I forgot to turn on my volume. Always gets me. Okay, next, I agree, next, yes. Okay, so you could probably figure that out yourself, but just know that, if Blender does not run, I don't want to run it yet. Finish. You might need this. Microsoft Visual C++ 2005 distributable package. Okay, so if it doesn't run, you will need this little area right here. Okay, so that is the rundown of how to install Blender.